Hi everyone, I'm Kenneth Ryan.
I'm Linz.
And you're here for the series premiere of Fanfiction Friday. Today we're going to be reading Not So Innocent by Ezzydean. And for those of you who are curious, this is a free fanfiction pairing Makoto and Sosuke. Or Sasuke? Sosuke, okay.
It's not Naruto.
It's not Naruto. We could read Naruto.
We will read Naruto.
Alright, so let's get this show on the road. Alright, Chapter 1. Hey. I gotta do a voice. Who am I doing? I'm doing Nagisa. Okay. Let me raise it up a few octaves.
What does that sound like?
Muscles. That's what she sounds like. Hey, Makoto, or Mako. Wow, I can't read. Let's try this again. Hey, Mako's blushing again, Nagisa cries out cheerfully and points at Makoto, who naturally blushes even more.
Nagisa, Go scolds as she slaps at his hand, blushing herself.
Well, he is, Nagisa retorts.
I think you're drunk. Go tugs Nagisa away from where he had practically draped himself onto Makoto's lap and leads him back to where she and Haru had been talking. A minute or two later, Rin and Rei head off to the kitchen talking about mixed drinks, and Sosuke settles himself on the couch next to Makoto. I'm gonna use Sosuke.
Okay, so this is...
They're drunk. They're at a party. Or something. No, Truth or Dare. It was Truth or Dare.
Don't spoil! Jesus! Okay, so they're at a party, though, and Nagisa's been drinking, clearly, and...
They've all been drinking. They're all drunk.
Okay, so you're Sosuke.
What does Sosuke sound like?
Deep voice.
But then I have to talk like that the whole time.
I don't care.
So talking about sex makes you blush, Sosuke states, and watches
wow,
out the corner
he's blunt.
of his eye, while Makoto freezes with his drink at his lips. Was Nagisa's talk about handcuffs a little too much for you? The words sound teasing, but Sosuke's tone seems curious, and Makoto glances at him warily before dropping his gaze to his drink.
Not necessarily, no.
What does that mean?
Makoto can feel someone's eyes on him, and he glances up to see Haru watching them. Haru's getting jealous. Haru's jealous right now. Too far away to hear them, but he can sense Makoto's weariness even across the room. They meet eyes for a moment before Haru turns away with a shrug. I've never really had anyone willing to let me, you know. His voice drops, and he can feel his cheeks reddening again. Experimenting with them. Sosuke just watches as the red creeps from Makoto's cheeks to his ears with fascination. He's never really thought about doing anything sexual with Makoto before, but any of their little group... Or any of their little group of friends, really. But now, he's intrigued. Oh, God. Makoto is pretty damn good looking, after all, and he kind of wants to see what kind of experimenting... Notice the quotes... Makoto has in mind, and has him blushing so badly. He's sure, given what he knows of Makoto, that it'll probably be pretty vanilla, and that he'll be blushing adorably the whole time. He leans to the side and presses their shoulders together.
Experiment, He murmurs and finishes off the last of his drink. I'm down if you are.
Oh my god, what are we reading? Smut.
It's beautiful. Naruto
nearly chokes on what's left of his own drink. What? He croaks and looks over at Sasuke like he's expecting him to laugh. Sasuke? It's Naruto. Remember the Naruto run? That was a big thing. He's expecting him to laugh or turn it into a joke. Wait, seriously?
Completely.
Nagisa comes over to drag them both back to the conversation he has going with Haru and Go. I'm sorry, I'm sick like always. Okay. And Makoto spends the rest of the night sneaking glances at Sosuke, blushing anytime he gets caught. He's still not entirely sure Sosuke is serious, especially since he leaves 15 minutes before Makoto does, so he's not surprised to see him standing...
He is
surprised. So he's surprised to see him standing outside Nagisa's apartment building when Makoto finally manages to make it out. Wait, so this is... Okay, so Nagisa's...
Yes, they're at Nagisa's apartment building.
How old are they? Are they legal?
Yes.
Okay.
Lead the way, Sosuke says, as he sidles up to Makoto. Their shoulders brush, and Makoto realizes just how close they are in size. Sosuke is just barely taller than him, and is slightly more muscular. It'll be interesting to get someone so evenly matched in bed with him, he thinks, as he blushes for probably the 1,000th time that night.
Oh my god! Do people think like this?
I don't know. Makoto has never been the best at making small talk, especially with his mind already approximately an hour into the future with Sosuke in his bed, and Sosuke is content to just walk beside him quietly the whole way. Sosuke would love to know what thoughts are filling Makoto's head and causing him to flush every few minutes, but he's sure he'll find out before too long, and he's actually looking forward to the experience. He can't think of the last time he's had sex with someone so close to his own size.
So they're both just like, hey, we're about the same size, why not? What
Makoto unlocks his door and gestures for Sosuke to go in ahead of him.
Are you still sure you want to do this? He asks with another one of those damn blushes as they slip off their shoes and Sosuke laughs. Laugh, Lindsay. Ha 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 ha. Ooh, that was sexy.
Makoto, I wouldn't be here if I didn't want to be. He pulls Makoto towards him with a smile.
Oh my God.
Neither of them have far to go before their lips meet, which is a nice change. Less awkward neck bending and all that.
Oh God.
They kiss softly for a few moments, getting to know the taste of each other. Before Sosuke takes the lead and runs his tongue against Makoto's lips as he wraps his hands around his waist. Makoto nips at Sosuke's lips and leans against him, one hand
Smut.
at the nape of his neck and the other fisted in his shirt. Sosuke's not sure how long they stay that way, leaning up against the wall just inside Makoto's door. It's all warm and wet, and there's teeth nipping at his lip and occasionally at his jaw, and he pulls back when his feet start to slip on the floor.
Oh my God, alright. Oh, his voice is gonna drop. Wanna? Makoto's voice drops off, and he nods shyly down the hallway.
Oh, definitely. Sosuke murmurs and nuzzles at Makoto's neck, earning a breathy sigh before he turns away and tugs Sosuke behind him.
Wait, which one is Kitchen? Oh, Makoto, okay. Kitchen, he states, and points one direction. Hey, that's a band that lost a member.
20% off. That's
20% off. Rip in peace, Zane. Living room, bathroom. He points out as Sosuke presses kisses into his neck and hums acknowledgments against his skin. Bedroom.
You can still go.
Sosuke wraps his arms around Makoto's waist and rests his chin on Makoto's shoulder. You still wanna? He asks. When Makoto I stole your line, whatever.
Oh. My line?
Yeah, you say you still wanna.
You still wanna? He asks. Oh wait,
Are you just gonna go?
I read until your line. When Makoto nods and pulls him inside, some knot in his stomach loosens and he grins. I think we're gonna have some fun tonight, Makoto.
I'm funny. Alright, where are we? Where'd we leave off?
Oh, definitely there.
Oh, definitely. Makoto growls. Grr. I can't growl.
Grr.
That's a growl. And Sosuke finds himself pinned to Makoto's bed. In a couple of quick motions that he certainly did not expect, Makoto leans down and nips at Sosuke's neck, swipes his tongue over the red mark, drawing a groan from Sosuke's lips. Holy... Is he having sex with Tina from Bob's Burgers?
Continue. Off topic.
Lindsay, we were commenting and making...
Yeah, we are commenting.
We're making hilarious commentary, that's the point.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Groaning.
Yep, okay.
Anyway.
He slips one hand down and under the edge of Sosuke's shirt before suddenly sitting up. Yet another groan sounds, this time at the loss of Makoto's lips pressed against his his jaw. As Sosuke looks up at him. It's still okay, right?
Makoto. Sosuke tries his best not to whine, but he already has a hard-on rubbing against his zipper, which is resting right against Makoto's sinfully touchable ass.
I'm stopping you right here. I'm going to stop you right here and say, hard-on rubbing against his zipper is not a sexy line. That is not springing me, okay? Smut writers, sometimes what you say is not sexy. Please be aware of that. Continue.
Okay, his sinfully touchable ass.
God.
And Makoto is giving him that kicked puppy look. Do whatever you want with me. Just don't fucking stop.
What? He's giving him the kicked puppy look.
Yes, yeah. Because he's...
What is that? What?
He's sad that he's like, it's still okay, and he's like, Makoto, just get the fuck on with it, okay?
Is this like the kicked puppy look like?
Pretty much.
Like, what the
where was I? Just don't fucking stop.
Oh my god.
He reaches up and yanks Makoto back down to him, pressing a hard kiss to his lips before gasping when Makoto shifts and cups him through his jeans.
Oh god. Where are we?
Whatever I want.
Whatever I want. Sosuke rolls his eyes and spreads his arms against the bed.
I'm all yours.
Here, I'll take the next big one, because you read
But
it.
you're gonna end up reading half of this, because I don't talk much.
I don't care. Makoto's shy smile gains a predatory edge, and Sosuke shivers when Makoto leans down and yanks his shirt up, licking a stripe from his waistband to his neck. I'm assuming that's of his, like, underwear, right? His
Sure.
waistband?
Yes.
Because that's not a body part.
That is the waist.
Jesus Christ.
It's like from above the waistline.
Okay. Mine, he growls into Sosuke's ear and pulls the shirt over his head. Sosuke's hands get tangled. Oh my god, Lindsay! I don't want to get in trouble with the YouTube.
Don't do this.
Where did I leave off? Sosuke's hands get tangled, but he doesn't get time to focus on that before Makoto has one nipple in his mouth, tongue rolling around it. This is good. Good content. Quality. And the other pinched between two of his... Which two of his fingers, honey?
These two, I don't know.
And wow, who knew those thick fingers were so nimble? Nimble fingers. He's like a thief in like the olden days, like in a past life. Makoto was stealing bread. Nimble fingers. Apparently Makoto's other hand is still holding his shirt, because when Sosuke goes to drop his arms down to tangle his fingers in Makoto's hair, he can't move them. Only then does he register that... Holy shit. That Makoto has his arms pinned above his head and is kneeling between his legs. An extra wave of heat shudders through them at the sensation of actually seriously being pinned to the bed.
Oh yeah, woo. Fuck Makoto. He hisses as Makoto gets his nipple between his teeth and tugs. He lets go and chuckles against Sosuke's chest. Warm breath puffing over his already sensitive nipple, and Sosuke shivers.
Are we reading The Claiming of Sleeping Beauty?
This is less rapey.
That book talks so much about nipples, though.
It does.
There was a
lot.
lot.
I read the third one.
Holy Jesus, love yourself. Hold on, here we go.
It was
I love
bad.
the Lord. I love the Lord.
Forgive me, Jesus, for I have sinned.
It has been how many days since my last confession?
Oh, damn.
Okay.
Anyway. Does he say damn?
Don't be impatient, Makoto says, and brings his knee forward to rub against Sosuke's groin. That doesn't sound pleasant.
Gently.
It does not say gently.
But it...
We'll get there. Sosuke tries
kind
not...
of a masochist, I don't know.
Sosuke tries not to buck his hips against the pressure.
Oh, yeah.
He really does, but Makoto is still leaning over him, and when he returns to working Sosuke's nipple with his teeth, he just can't help himself. He needs his hands free, needs to touch something, anything to distract himself, needs to wrap his fingers in Makoto's hair or the sheets or Makoto's arms. Makoto swirls his tongue around one nipple and rolls the other between his fingers again, and Sosuke can only can only clench his fingers in his shirt and rub himself against Makoto's knee. That's a good pleasure. Feels good. He can't remember the last time he's been this damn turned on by someone playing with his nipples. Hell, Makoto has barely even touched anything else and he's wound up tight. Makoto pulls away like he already knows how close Sosuke is. Oh, really? You just know. Okay.
Like he knows.
And smiles down at him, watching as his breath starts to slow a little and he relaxes back onto the mattress.
Is that me?
I think it's you.
Oh, no, it's you.
There now. Sosuke swears Makoto practically purrs as he slides down on top of him, still pinning his arms down, and nuzzles under his chin. We don't need to be rushing anything. He presses a kiss to Sosuke's throat and smiles. We have all weekend after all, right?
You planning on keeping me tied down here all weekend or something?
He's tied?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Oh, gee, spoiler alert.
Do they?
Maybe not tied down, although that is very tempting. But I am definitely not opposed to keeping you in my bed all weekend. Makoto runs his tongue under Sosuke's chin and down his throat, and he shivers at the sensation. Has he always been this sensitive?
What exactly are you planning on doing with me all weekend? I just have all these
Well, I can tell you what I want to do to you. Going along with it is, well, up to you. Makoto pulls Sosuke's hands down towards his head. He flinches a little at the twinge on his shoulder when Makoto notices, which
shoulder is it? It's his right one, right?
And immediately releases his grip on the t-shirt. You okay? He asks, and that careful, gentle look is back in his eyes.
I don't think that was supposed to be quite as seductive.
Listen, we're reading Smut, everything's seductive. Though Sosuke can sense his arousal simmering just under the surface.
Yeah,
Simmer.
it's still just a little twinge once in a while in certain positions.
God.
Makoto nods and helps him untangle the shirt from his wrists. His fingers ghost up Sosuke's arm and back down.
I see. It looks like Makoto is thinking, filing away this information for later. It's a thoughtful look. Sosuke would much rather forget about his shoulder and get back to the sex they have on the way.
So, you gonna share what it was you wanted to do with me? He asks cockily, and when Makoto turns back, the gentle look has taken a back burner to his arousal, and Sosuke feels his stomach tighten.
Gentle.
Makoto has surprised him a little with pinning him to the bed and taking a slightly more leading role now that they're actually in his bed. But Sosuke's still not expecting much more than maybe talk of a little food play or blindfolds.
Talk of a little what play?
Food play. You know, like chocolate syrup and stuff
nice.
and whipped cream and make ice cream sundae.
Keep talking.
No matter how devious someone's eyes can look, no matter how much Makoto looks like he's devouring Sosuke in his mind, there's only so much he expects.
Oh, it's back to me?
Yes.
Well, like I said, I wouldn't mind having you tied down to my bed all weekend. Makoto slowly looks from Sosuke's face all the way down to his toes. It's okay.
It's just a full body scan.
Head tilted and eyes far away. But maybe another time.
Okay, what else? Sosuke prods and tugs Makoto against him, slipping his fingers under Makoto's shirt. Makoto hums and leans in close, breath tickling Sosuke's ear.
Oh, we're back to me? I want to find every way I can make you come for me. I want to see you under me, over me. Yeah. Makoto's fingers dance. Ooh, they're dancing. They're doing like river dance. Makoto's fingers do the river dance along Sosuke's chest. And
the kid.
They're doing a line. Do. Oh, God, no, that's weird.
Like Titania from
Yeah. Makoto's fingers dance along Sosuke's chest and across his ribs, pressing at each ridge and dip, slowly inching down. I want to get you off with the sound of my voice. Ooh. Fuck you into the mattress until you can barely remember your own name. He's never been so relieved to have someone unzip his jeans as he is right then. That's a lot better than the one we read where it was like, I'm uncomfortable. Okay. Makoto has him paralyzed, pinned down with nothing more than the sound of his voice and his fingertips skating. Now they got skates. Now they got ice skates. That's going to cut him up.
Oh.
New message has arrived.
Ignore it.
We're working. This is a job now. Okay, skating along his skin. Mark you so the whole world knows you're mine.
Oh.
That just kind of came out of nowhere. Okay. Makoto's teeth graze the skin under his ears and shoulders. And then tomorrow, Makoto trails off with a slight teasing tone, and Sosuke chuckles.
Uh-huh.
There you go. Now you have a line.
Or,
Oh, jeez.
Such confidence. Sosuke smirks as Makoto slips his hand into his boxers. Makoto stops with his fingers just barely hovering above Sosuke's cock and smiles. I like a confident partner in bed.
Oh, then you're going to love me. Sosuke gulps as Makoto's fingers trail down his cock, and part of his brain wonders where the blushing innocent Makoto he had been talking to earlier in the night has gone. Most of his brain simply shuts off because Makoto wraps his fingers around Sosuke's cock and sets his lips to Sosuke's neck. He can feel the sting on his neck as Makoto lets go with a pop and slightly laps at the area. Is he a dog now? Just
slightly.
Oh, well,
more like a little snake.
It's like that Dwight from The Office.
Hello, Clarice.
Hello, Clary. Oh, we're getting distracted. Makoto simply moves to another spot on his neck and continues working at the skin. His fingers are working wonders on Sosuke's cock. And he sucks in a gasp of air when Makoto presses his thumb to his slit. Oh, okay, I was like, what? And then I got it. Makoto works at him, hand gently pumping and occasionally twisting, and he can feel the heat sinking into his stomach once again, twisting and pulsing and working its way out to make his fingers tingle and his toes twitch. I'm gonna let you read for a while.
Sosuke lets out a whine. I don't know how to do a whine. When Makoto slips his hand out, and he chuckles against Sosuke's neck before moving up to kiss him. Slow and deep, tongue tracing Sosuke's lips and teeth. And Sosuke never really paid attention to how nice it is to just kiss someone. How the right mouth on his lips seems to be able to pull him along, keep his body wired and on the edge. And when Makoto works his lower lip between his teeth, Sosuke forgets all about the fact Makoto's hand isn't down his pants anymore. Makoto sits up long enough to pull off Sosuke's jeans and boxers before he's back kissing him again. Hands running down his chest and stomach, teasing touches against his hips and sides, fingers tangling in his hair. Sosuke moans into Makoto's mouth as he runs his nails down Sosuke's chest. Fuck Makoto, he gasps when his nails catch his nipples.
Patience is the only response he gets. Makoto just keeps touching him, running his fingers and nails across every inch of skin, except the one Sosuke really wants him to get to. Nails skitter along his thigh. That makes me think of a spider. Skittering.
This is gonna be like 45
Palms.
minutes because of the length we're taking.
We're at 23.
Nice.
Palms glide across his abs.
I think this is still chapter 1, isn't it?
Yep. All the while Makoto just keeps kissing him, and Sosuke is sure he's got a lack of oxygen going on, because fuck, kissing has never had him this hard and aching. He brings his hands down to touch himself because he has to get off soon or he'll go crazy. Makoto catches his wrist and gives his bottom lip a bite. Patience. I'm a psychopath. He can't help the growl that slips out as he meets Makoto's gaze, challenges him as he pushes against the grip on his wrist. It's a challenge that's willingly met when Makoto forces Sosuke's hands down beside his hips and holds them there as he slides down Sosuke's body. The fabric of Makoto's clothes catch and rub all the way down, and Sosuke is definitely sure he's going to go crazy before Makoto ever gets him off at this rate. Makoto gives him a quick swipe of his tongue along Sosuke's cock, and then noses at the... That's not sexy. Noses at the base. You're very impatient, Sosuke, he murmurs as he runs his lips from the base to the tip before turning and pressing a kiss to the inside of Sosuke's thigh. Oh my god,
Should I read it?
Maybe we're just gonna do one chapter.
I mean, I think the second and third ones are...
We're
only that far down.
Sosuke twitches at the feel of Makoto's teeth nipping at his thigh and shudders when he drags his tongue up to the joint of his hips. You let me pin you, down, and bring you to the edge 3 or 4 times, and then, we'll see who's impatient. Anyway, is this Sosuke saying that?
Yes.
Oops.
Oh no.
Just continue. Read the dialogue. I took
But
your
I'll
line. Do it then. I don't care. My foot
Anyways,
is falling
we'll see who's
asleep.
impatient. Makoto takes him into his mouth, and he can't even get a sound out. His mouth is warm and wet, and he takes Sosuke all the way down in one quick motion. He's apparently very experienced with this.
Apparently.
Makoto draws his head up slowly, and Sosuke can feel his throat working around his cock, and he finally remembers how to breathe. He's right back at that edge, and could probably come right now, and he wants to. Which, of course, means that Makoto stops moving about halfway back up, and lets go of one wrist to wrap his fingers tight around Sosuke's cock. Sosuke groans in frustration and runs a shaky hand down his face.
He runs a shady hand.
God damn it, Tachibana. Just let me fucking come already.
Wow, rude.
He growls as he tangles his free hand in Makoto's hair and tugs at it. Makoto draws the rest of the way up slowly, lets Sosuke's cock out of his mouth with a lewd pop, and licks his lips, which draws Sosuke's attention straight to them as they curl up into a grin. They're plump and slick, and he wants nothing more than for them to be back around his cock, around my lips or neck or anything. I just need to come. It like changes from thoughts to him actually saying it out loud.
Oh.
Then it's your turn.
Makoto hums and leans his head into Sosuke's grip, biting at the edge of his lip as he watches Sosuke pant and shift his hips to get some kind of relief. Sosuke's eyes snap up to meet his, and he can feel Sosuke wavering between keeping some semblance of control and just submitting to Makoto. Let me come. Oh, that's you.
Yes.
That is you.
Let me come, Makoto. Sosuke's eyes flutter shut for a moment, and then he's meeting Makoto's gaze head on. Please. Makoto smiles, and for a moment Sosuke sees that innocent angel peeking out, eyes full of pride at Sosuke's choice.
Angel. Oh, where are we going?
Third, in the middle of the paragraph, of course.
Of course. Makoto drops his mouth to Sosuke's cock, pressing one kiss to the tip before parting his lips and taking him to Frisco Town.
What?
I mean, taking him all the way in again. He groans, and then Makoto's fingers loosen and lightly rub at him before moving up to grip his hip. One hand is tangled in Makoto's hair, and the other is still being held down, and he uncurls his fist as Makoto bobs his head. His breathing is coming out in a series of garbled attempts at words as Makoto works him. Garbled attempts at words would be more like...
It's not gurgled. It's garbled.
Dude, there's a dick in the mouth. As Makoto works him with his mouth and presses his tongue against him and gently scrapes his... I wish I could roll my R's. Scrapes his teeth against Sosuke's cock, sending Sosuke flying back to the edge. I'm on the edge of glory. This time there's no pulling back, no teasing, and he wraps his fingers around Makoto's wrist hard enough to bruise as he comes with a groan that echoes through Makoto's apartment. You know, for a minute I was like, this is pretty much an audiobook, and then I realized, no, it's not, because we're terrible at making it sound sexy.
Yeah, we're not good at, like, podcasts or whatever.
Makoto swallows, keeps bobbing and licking at him as he shakes and shivers his way back down off the edge until Sosuke finally shudders and tugs at his hair to get him to stop. Sosuke's fingers twitch and Makoto shifts their hands until he can twine their fingers together, and he settles his hand onto Sosuke's thigh. Eventually, Sosuke feels like he has enough energy to try and open his eyes and see just what the tickling sensation is on his legs. Makoto, eyes closed and looking as content and smug as the cat he adores. What?
He likes cats.
Oh, the cats he adores.
Cats he adores.
Is tracing nonsensical patterns on the thigh he isn't using as a pillow. He senses Sosuke shifting and looks up with a grin before pulling himself up to curl against Sosuke's side and nuzzle into his neck. Sosuke has to take a moment to try and figure out just how this Makoto was the very same guy who pets every cat he meets. The guy who is gentler than the proverbial lamb was the same one who had just basically made him beg to be allowed to come. Maybe, Sosuke thinks, he shouldn't have been so quick to assume Makoto's blushing was due to naivety? Naivety. You okay? Makoto asks. He presses a hesitant kiss to Sosuke's chin,
line at the end.
Almost as if he was worried Sosuke would pull away.
Sosuke turns and catches his lips before he can fully pull back, giving him a lingering kiss. Definitely.
Alright, so that was
end of chapter
that
1.
was the first chapter, and since this is running a little long, we're gonna make this this is gonna be a continued series. Yeah. Thoughts of chapter 1?
It was interesting. I mean, it gets in the next couple chapters.
Oh god, does it get worse?
It gets fun.
Alright, hey, stick around for that. I think I did the Sign of the Cross about 3 or 4 times throughout the course of that video. I literally was just like,
I just kept looking at the camera.
there was a point where you were reading, and I was like mouthing the words to the Our Father. I was like, oh God, I don't want to go to hell. All right, so that was our season premiere of
Fanfiction Friday.
A Fanfiction Friday. We were reading Not So Innocent by, I forgot your name.
Something Ezzydean.
Ezzydean.
I think it was Ezzydean.
Ezzydean. Let's scroll up and check. Hold on. Holy Jesus.
And just saying, when you're actually just reading it, it's not that bad.
By Ezzydean.
It's actually really it's a decent fan.
By Ezzydean. So hey, if you enjoyed the series, please give it a like, subscribe if you haven't, leave a comment down below if you have a suggestion for a fanfiction. Yes,
try and creep us out.
Yeah,
as much
try and
as
make us
possible.
uncomfortable. That's your goal.
No pedophilia.
Yeah, that's bad. I don't want to read that. Like, I won't read that.
No.
But yeah, leave us a like, tell us what you thought, and look forward to next week when we read chapter 2. Chapter 2 of this wonderful fiction, Not So Innocent. Until then, so what should our exit phrase be? Let's think of one on the fly. Until then, stay cool, read more smut. Right? That works? Alright. Bye.
Bye.